Welcome back, Retriever fans. Another edition of the UMBC Baseball Weekly Report. Head Coach Liam Bowen recapping the week that was, looking ahead to the week that will be for UMBC Baseball. Coach, welcome back in.
Thanks, Dave.
So the Retrievers 15-20 on the year, 6-9 in the America East, coming off of a 1-2 weekend up in NJIT last weekend, and then having your game on Tuesday postponed due to some weather here against George Washington. So, Coach, let's start with that NJIT series, a 1-2 weekend. You get the series finale in kind of a untraditional type of weekend that you've had so far this year.
Yeah, obviously we typically play 3 games in 3 days. The Saturday game was halted and we had to finish it on Sunday. And I actually think that ended up playing to our advantage. We certainly didn't put our best foot forward on Friday and Saturday. And we've kind of been back and forth with this group. I think it's I know it's a really hard-working group. It's a high-character group, a lot of guys who are really connected to each other and who have done a lot of the right things. We're just a team that's on the younger side in our league that's figuring out how to win. And that takes belief. Like that's a big part of it. Like when you take the field, you have to know that your team is prepared. You have to know that, you have the talent to go out there and turn the game your way. And I felt like on Friday and Saturday, we just didn't play with that kind of conviction. And NJIT is the wrong opponent to not have that conviction against. It's a super veteran team, a team that was in a regional last year, quality program, well coached. Just those guys are going to expose any kind of weakness that we were going to show, and that definitely happened on Friday and Saturday. But Sunday was, I thought, some of our best baseball of the year. And I thought it really started with how we approached the halted game. We had 3.5 innings left to play. We were down a lot. I thought it would have been an easy one for the team to kind of throw away and just say, well, this one's out of reach and let's see if we can get to the next one. But it started off with Ian Diaz running the ball out of the ballpark, kind of setting the tone for our offense. We made him use, I believe, 3 pitchers to get through, 4 offensive innings for us. Nick Remy looked great, basically approached it like a weekend start, went 9 up, 9 down with 6 punch outs. Really good work for a freshman. And we were able to go into that second game, the game that was meant to be played on Sunday, game 3 of the series, with just a different energy and a different spirit, because the guys were able to create that in the halted game. And I thought we really carried that over. Luke Johnson did a great job on the mound. We swung it well. We were able to get their starter out of the game early, tack on a little bit late. Mike Cilio, just tremendous swing, bases loaded, grand slam off the bench, pinch hit, and he's from very close to NJIT. He had some family in the stands. That was an awesome moment. So a lot of good things on Sunday. And if that's what we need to create consistent belief in this group, then we're going to be much the better for it as the season goes on.
And I know we've talked about it all year, is the consistency and getting better as the season progresses. Early in the year, you see a series like that might have swung a different way, like you saw with Maine earlier in the year. But now it's got to feel good as a coach to see the team kind of progressing, having those first 2 game and a half before it got suspended, not really go your way and things not go the way that you might have wanted it. But then to see them turn around in that last game and really just take it to NJIT.
Yeah, I think it's a glimpse of what we're capable of. And our guys know it. They know each other as players. They know each other as characters. They know we have some talent. They know that we've done the right things. They know that they've invested in each other. They know that they're prepared. It takes time for teams to, particularly these younger teams, to get over the hump and truly believe that no matter what's going on around us, that one thing the guys have heard me say a lot is we have the answers to the test, right? Like we know, how to answer the questions that are being asked of us. We just have to write them down with a little bit more conviction, a little bit more belief that we know what we're doing. So I was pleased to see that. And this group deserves it. We've had some bad fortune at times this season with some close losses. We've underperformed at times for the reasons I've been talking about, and maybe not having quite the belief inside the group that the group deserves. And it's great to see us start to turn the corner a little bit. I thought the Sunday before as well against Lowell was a very similar deal, down 6-2, and able to come back and win it, in extra innings. So I see some really good signs. I'm really encouraged that the guys are in in a different mindset. We had that game, postponed unfortunately yesterday with GW. We were able to practice. We had like a quick, like structured scrimmage, and I thought it was some of our best baseball of the year. The guys did an awesome job, played with a ton of energy and spirit. So I think we're starting to figure out, who we are and what we need to do down the stretch here. And I'm excited to see how the next 5 weeks go with this group.
And then you mentioned you're 6-9 in the league, but you look at the standings up and down the entire way, and it's a lot of parity this year. I know in the beginning of the year, we kind of mentioned this is a league that's really talented, really competitive, but you're kind of seeing that unfold now, kind of near the halfway, a little bit over the halfway mark of the conference season. What are your thoughts on the league so far and how it's shaken out?
It's as I expected, and it's as it's been, for my 11 years in the America East. Occasionally we get a really elite team that sets the pace. I think there are some really good teams in our league this year. I don't know that there's that elite 40-win type of program out there this year. It's just a league where anybody can beat anybody. And I think that sets it apart from some of the other mid-major conferences here on the East Coast, that there's not really, tiers within our league. I think every game is a difficult game. I think the team, and I want to give them a lot of credit, the team that's in the toughest position and the coaching staff that's in the toughest position up at Hartford, Coach Malinowski and that group, they've found a way to win games in the league despite, making a transition to D3. And I think that just goes to the competitiveness of the league and the quality of that coaching staff and those players. So it's a league where, I guess, you want to think about it this way, the bad news is anybody can beat you, but the good news is it kind of comes down to what you do as a team, right? We feel like when we play the way that we played the last 2 Sundays, we can beat anybody in the league. And I know that's the case because that's how competitive this league is. But at the same time, if your conviction slips a little bit or you get a little bit sloppy or you're not on top of your game, if it's a weekend and if it's the America East, it doesn't matter who the other team is, you're going to be in trouble, when you're not taking care of your side of the ball. So, a good year for the league, a competitive year for the league, completely, in line with my expectations starting the year.
And then, we're talking about consistency and talking about getting better as the year goes on. A guy that we've talked about before, but has been solid since the beginning of the year, transfer Miles Nicholson, leading the nation in batting average. What have you seen out of him and just, again, that consistency, and what does that show the younger guys on the team, about putting in the work to get to that kind of point in your career?
Well, a couple of things jump out with Miles. Obviously, he's having a lot of success. It's a big country. So if you're leading it in hitting, that's pretty good. The 2 things that I want our younger players, and that I know I personally will take away from Miles, were, number one, he came here and he wasn't done getting better. Now he's a 5th-year senior. He's already had a good 4-year career at Mount St. Mary's, but he's a real late bloomer physically, coming out of high school. And he's just continued to add to his game and continue to learn things here at UMBC. I think he's done a great job defensively with Coach Marsh. Then obviously offensively, things are going really well. And I think that goes back to his work with Coach Disher and of course his ability. But a lot of guys can come into that situation and say, hey, I have this extra year to play ball. I'm just going to kind of roll out my usual game and see what it gets me. And that hasn't been his approach at all. He's been really curious. He's been really invested in his own development. And he's done a great job, picking up new skills. And he's a better player than he ever was because of that. And then the second thing with him, you mentioned the word, is just consistency. Like his emotionally, his personality, he's just the same guy every day, and he's somebody we can always count on to just be Miles. And that's a beautiful thing when you play as much as we do, when, the season is as much of a campaign as it is. It's not really about any one day. It's about how consistent you can be over a number of days. And Miles is phenomenal at that, and I think if you take a really hardworking player who has a lot of natural athletic ability, who's really curious, and he can give you a consistent mindset every day, at the end of 5 years, you're going to end up with a really good baseball player. And that's what he is.
And then now let's start looking ahead this weekend. You got Stony Brook You mentioned Hartford earlier, a team that's transitioning to Division III and trying to get wins in this league. Another team that's going to be leaving the league at the end of the year, but they're still always really, really solid, really well coached, always have a lot of talent. What's it going to take to get a couple of wins? Maybe sweep series, but definitely try to win a series this weekend at home.
You said it. They're always solid. They're always really well coached. I spoke to Coach Sank this morning, guy I've coached against for a number of years, always has his team prepared. I think as much as any team in our league, they're probably identified with a specific style where they're going to be really fundamentally sound. They're going to be really good defensively. We've had our games with Stony Brook over the years. We've won some, we've lost some. I don't think we've ever been given any. I think every time we've beaten them, we've played pretty well. And I think that's a testament to their program and the job that those guys do up there. I'm expecting more of the same from them. I'm expecting to have to be on top of what we do and have to be the best version of ourselves to give ourselves chances to win. So that's what we're focused on, and I think they're a perfect opponent for us with where we're at as a group. And that if we play the way that we played the last two Sundays, if we play with that focus and belief that we've been talking about with the guys, I think we'll have a good chance to win against Stony Brook. If we don't, they're certainly good enough to punish us, and they always are. I think that's a hallmark of that team. So a great opponent. I've enjoyed having them in the league and enjoyed coaching against them over the years. And yeah, we're looking forward to Friday.
All right. Well, Coach, as always, thanks for taking the time and good luck this weekend.
All right, Dave. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Retrievers, again, back in action at Alumni Field this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Stony Brook coming to town. Friday is a 6 o'clock start, Saturday at 2 and Sunday at 1. And as always, you can keep up to date with UMBC Baseball, UMBCRetrievers.com, and the team's Twitter page at UMBC Baseball.